Well, happy Friday, everyone. Today I'm going to be doing my second cocktail out of the Shaker and Spoon All Eyes on Rye box. This is featuring rye whiskey. It's going to be a take on a classic Old Fashioned. An Old Fashioned is a great cocktail to experiment with and play around with, as it's a very simple ingredients: spirit, sweetener, bitters. So you can play around with different spirits, different bitters, different sweeteners, and change your cocktail up quite a bit. Several weeks ago, I did a rum fashioned using rum and honey and some various juices as well. We're gonna go a little bit more classic today using rye on Shaker and Spoon's Homestead Old Fashioned. So let's get this started. I'm gonna start off with 2 ounces of rye whiskey. Again, I'm using a bullet rye. Great middle of the road, not a high price point, very mild flavors. So what that allows me to do is understand more of these specialty items, things like the syrups and the bitters, and allows me to taste those rather than competing with the taste of the spirit. So that's why I really like this, more of the neutral spirits for all of the Shaker and Spoon cocktails, as it really lets me focus on these ingredients rather than the nuances of the spirit themselves. After that, we're gonna do 1/2 ounce of the winter spice syrup. We're gonna use 2 different types of bitters on this. This is not the first cocktail that I've done that uses 2 bitters. And I really enjoy mixing my bitters in my drinks. It's a great way to kind of change up the seasoning on your cocktails. The first one is an orange bitters, and the second is a black pepper bitters from the Cocktail Experiment. 3 dashes of each. Next, we're going to add ice and stir. So give it a good amount of stirring. We really want to stir until our mixing glass is nice and cold. You can always remember that stirring is a great way to chill your drink without adding a lot of dilution. Stirring a cocktail adds about 1 ounce of water, whereas shaking it will add about 1.5 ounces. So if you're using a higher proof alcohol or just a very complex amount of ingredients and you want to kind of just tone it down a little bit, shaking might be a better method to go there. Or if you're James Bond and you might have to, fight some spies at any moment. Also a good idea to water down your drink a little bit by shaking it rather than stirring. Next, we're going to go ahead and strain this into a rocks glass with a nice large ice cube. I have finally been able to play around with making clear ice, and I've been able to do so. The cost is incredibly minimal if you know how to do it. To make a unlimited amount of crystal clear large form ice blocks, it's only costing me about $10. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and I will be sharing how to do that in the weeks to come. And then we're going to garnish with a little bit of aromatics. We've got an orange oil spray and a cocktail cherry. And I always like to get a little bit of the cherry syrup in my drink as well. I think that just adds some really nice, very subtle notes and flavors. And there we have it, the Homestead Old Fashioned. Cheers. This is much more subtle than I expected it to be. I get a lot, it's very rye heavy. I get a lot of rye up front. The syrup provided does a really nice job of adding some really nice winter spices, getting a lot of cardamom and cinnamon. Really nice, given a nice warm hug by that orange oil. It feels just so wintry and nice. And where I'm located, there's still snow on the ground. So this is a very timely cocktail for this time of year, as we're crossing into spring, but we're still kind of holding on to winter. This is delicious. I'm very, very happy with this. I hope you are. Cheers to you. Have a fantastic weekend.